talk about how my mom taught us as kids to be grateful and how that has impacted us as adults, right?
Yes. All I know, growing up, when I had children, I knew I had to raise them different. And I'm going to give God credit for that. And what else to be grateful for? I was blessed with two beautiful kids. And I always wanted them to see the good in everything. There's something good in everything that's going on in this world. You just have to find it and stand on that and don't get so negative or caught up into the tragedy of life. Zach became a dad of three wonderful kids. He's a husband.
You just jumped 40 years in the
I'm
future.
going. Let me finish. He's a husband and he has three great children. We were not raised with a guy in our family at all. So that makes me proud. Then you go to Hope. The fact that we used to just all cling together. She moved down to Atlanta, ended up with Steve, and became to do stuff that I can't even imagine what she had to do. So I'm reverting back to God. I have to give God credit for these two wonderful kids. They'll always be my kids, because to see where we came from to where they're at now in their lives, it's a blessing. So how can you not be rejoicing in the little things? Find some joy in all kind of little things. There's joy in the world. You just have to look at it and find it.
So do you want to tell them why you named me Hope?
Yes, I was pregnant with Hope. I got pregnant with her, and when I was about 3 months pregnant, her dad left us. And the fact that, Zach and I, we used to walk, because we never had cars, being poor, we never had cars. We'd walk, and I would take him to daycare. I would go to work, and on the way, I'm like, honey, what are we going to do with this baby? We don't even have a place to live. We have, Zach's 4 years old, and I'm laying my burdens on him.
He's good for that.
And I'm not, the fact, okay, we got to do this. We're going to make it work. When she was born, after all that turmoil, she was healthy, alive, and it was like, that's my Hope. That's why she was named Hope, because she went through 6 months of craziness in my life, and she was fine. And look at her now. So.
And I will say that she has made it very clear my entire life that I am to be Hope.
Yeah.
By everything being like, well, what's the lesson? How can you make sense of it? How do you process it? So now I have super speed processing skills, thanks to my mom making that be my life, my whole life, and I'm thankful for it. Although sometimes as a child I felt like I wanted to be able to stay in the victimhood. She would never let me. And now as a grown-up, I'm very thankful for that, because she taught me to always find the bigger meaning and grow from it. So instead of having PTSD, we all have PTS growth.
That's true, because we didn't have, we could have stayed victims and been like, oh, woe is me, but we did not do that. We just made do. And I feel like that's also part of it.
We're strong people.
Sure.
I'd like to echo what my mom said about my brother being a really good dad. He is a wonderful dad, and he never had anyone to teach him that. So it's pretty impressive.
Well, I feel like one thing I said growing up was I never wanted to put my kids through what we went through. So I never wanted to get divorced, and never wanted to so I made sure I found somebody who was supportive. So
Talk about it.
I give all the credit to my wife, because she tolerates me. The reason that we have a lot of empathy and concern for people in need, I think, comes from us growing up that way, that we didn't have everything, and we just realized that the system doesn't really help those people, and so
we were helped by others.
Yes, we were helped by people in our community, and I think that's where we learned a lot of our skills and our concern for those in need, and why we still feel passionately about helping those less fortunate than us. And I just think that's part of us growing up that way.
That's very true. These guys have always stuck up for the underdog. Anyone that they see being picked on, no matter what's going on, those two have always come to their rescue and stuck up for them.
And I feel like part of growing up, Hope was always by my side, because she had to be. Mom was at work, so we had her out there, but she ended up being good friends with my friends, and they all were like, oh, make sure you tell Hope I said hi. She was a big part of our group, so.
Oh, by the way, they said hi.
Hi.
Also, I feel like growing up where we grew up, we found a love of nature because we had lots of places in our trails and stuff to go around and ride bikes and do things, and we would go on hikes and have fun in the woods.
And we
that
would go
was-
get water,
yes,
our drinking water, our bathing water, our cooking water from
80
a
gallons
spring
every 2 weeks.
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but it was a really nice place. They had
Yes.
lots of trails. Lynn Run, Pennsylvania, if you're ever around.
Shout out.
The water is not in the same spot, but it's moved a little bit.
And he still goes and gets it.
Yeah, it's good. And yeah, I feel like nature is also part of help shape us as, I mean, that's
That's who we are.
We care about being the earth because we learned how much being outside helped us get through all of the things we went through.
yeah.
We would spend time outside and we seemed to be able to bounce back from everything very quickly.
And
And
the
so then
fact-
we became very concerned about the planet.
And the fact that you could go out in nature and it didn't cost us any money at all.
That was a
Yeah.
big plus.
yeah.
Keep nature free.
Okay. Okay, in true family fashion, we have to take this video in multiple segments because ADHD.
Yes.
So we both have ADHD. So the thing I want to also include in our childhood is that it wasn't always rainbows and sunshine just because we were taught to be grateful about things, because there was some arguments and lots of anxiety, lots of worry. I will say her having to work a lot meant we got to go do things, and we grew up in the era where it was like, it's dinner time. Do you know where your kids are? They had to have a commercial on TV because a lot of people didn't know where their kids were. So we got lucky, but that did not mean she did not project worry on us most of our lives.
Or
And that, between her anxiety and just like the childhood trauma, hypervigilance became a thing. And so with Zach and I being ADHD and having a little bit of anxiety, sometimes we all have a bit of a tone with each other. Even though, who us? We're still working on that. It's just, you know, when you're around your family, it reminds you of all of the childhood things that you still need to work through and grow. The irony of her sometimes causing anxiety is that she was always showing that if you did the work, you could do anything.
yeah.
Because she would, she demonstrated really well that, like, we weren't the family to sit around and not do something because we couldn't do something. Like when she didn't have a car, she would walk to work, and then
Just
people
nuts.
randomly picked her up when they saw her walking, being like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I don't have a car, but I have to work." And so she taught us that, like, when there's a will, there's a way. You just do. So yes, she equally worries, but she also taught us very much so that with hard work, you can accomplish things, even if they don't seem accomplishable.
Yeah. I agree
Yes.
to that.
And I think one of the other main things is that if you feel like you can lean on your family, and even though sometimes we have things we have to work through, we all love each other unconditionally. And I know that if things ever got really bad, I could call them or all of my other family, and they would be at my side because we've been through thick and thin together. We've gotten through all of our other things together. They will be there to get us through whatever else is coming. So yes, we might fight and bicker and have a tone,
We always got each other's back.
but we always got each other's backs. And we're always at least very open about what we need to work on, and we hold ourselves accountable, and we hold each other accountable too. So there was something that I struggled with whenever I was processing some childhood stuff to try to learn and grow, was that because my mom was the only one that was actual parent to us and was there for us and was reliable and like fed us and clothed us and took care of us, was that I thought that I was wrong to ever notice things that she did that I actually didn't want to do or that I felt was negative. And that actually was harmful for me, just to be like, my mom was perfect, because there's things that I didn't want to carry out in my own life that she taught me. And so I had to be able to get to the point where I was able to be like, okay, I don't like this. And then I had to get to the point where I could tell her that, and thankfully she received it well eventually.
Well, yeah. You never
And-
like to hear that you've done something wrong or that wasn't acceptable or that wasn't a good idea. You know. But if you don't listen and process it, what's the sense? You know, how can you grow?
I
Yeah.
just didn't listen.
But the thing is that because I was finally able to say, You did so many wonderful things, but there's a few things that I don't want to carry into my life. And that's okay. And understood that it was okay, and it wasn't me saying anything negative towards my mom.
Right. I never carried over from my parents, you know. So again, you find out what works for you, because everybody's different. We all got different patterns, different thought process.
So my mom was very much so saying that anything we watched had to be very
Healthy
Christian
and healthy.
and healthy, and there was not allowed to be a whole lot of outside negative influences. She was really particular what we watched on TV, what we listened to. I mean, we got away with things just because she was busy and didn't always know what we were into. But I do have like a lot of childhood memories of, I took a bath to this tape every single night that was literally an entire 30 minutes of gratitude. And it was great stories and songs just about being thankful, and it is so ingrained into who I am. And I don't think if I would have listened to whatever I wanted to as a kid, to the extent that some people do, that I would have had the same kind of positive influences that she sort of was like, no, you're going to listen to this. So I feel grateful in many ways that she was protective of us and didn't let us intake a whole bunch of trash TV or things going on necessarily even in the world. And to this day, this is why I'm very like careful about what I'm consuming, social media wise, media wise. I don't even own a TV at this point in my life. And it's just something that she's taught me, that like what you are watching, reading, etc., eating, she doesn't do that one yet. I get on to her about her eating. But it all matters in how your mood is and how you're feeling in the world. Do you have something to say?
A lot of garbage in, garbage out is what I used to say.
All the time.
You know.
And Zach loved Nirvana.
Still do.
Still does. And you know what? He got away with it because she was busy.
She likes it too.
I
Don't
did,
let
I
her
do.
see.
I do, and again, it's a matter of process. But at the early
Nirvana's my favorite
stages, I
genre.
was struggling. That was like, we have to. Honestly, it was the early stages of our lives that I was.
She was protecting us because
Yeah.
we had already been exposed to so much
If
trauma.
you were like, you're not allowed to watch Roseanne or Simpsons, like that's what you were against.
right,
like-
exactly. You're like, you're not watching garbage, you know.
but I mean, Roseanne was our life. You just didn't know about it.
Maybe that's
Well,
why
yeah,
it was garbage,
that's what I was
you
gonna say.
know.
We were living it, and so she didn't want us to have to be watching it too. And I think in many ways there was things that she couldn't have protected us from.
I know.
So then she decided to try to protect us from all the other things. So, long story short of it is, anything I am today is because of these two, and I feel very thankful for them, and I wanted to share them with you, even though they were very hesitant to get on this camera. Oh, turn around and see those butterflies. Zoom
Oh,
in
yeah,
on
those
them.
are awesome.
Zoom in. They're gorgeous. Oh, come to us, butterfly. Okay,
Okay, and pan over.
so
Once upon a time, I had this mother right
Keep
here.
talking. Keep talking. Keep going.
She taught us to be concerned with the world and not be greedy little jerks who thought we could get whatever we wanted. And now we're gonna start from the beginning.
Keep talking. Keep
Okay.
going.
Hello. This is my sister. She's awesome. She learned it from this lady who's a whiner. Okay, start over. Okay.
no pressure, bro.